Hello and welcome to Ms. Lowry's third grade ELAR classroom. Today for word study, we're going to be starting off with phonics. And today with phonics, we're going to be looking at long vowels. So long vowels are vowels that say their name. So when we sound out the words, we will hear the sounds A, E, I, O, and U. Again, because these vowels are saying their name. So when we have words that have a vowel, consonant, E pattern, the vowel in that word is going to make the long vowel sound with the E being silent at the end of the word. So for example, our first word, we have T-A-M-E. So I see that I have my initial letter of T, but then I have my vowel of A, consonant M, with my ending of E. So I know that the vowel sound in that word has to be the long A sound. So let's sound it out. Aim, tame. That word is tame because I hear the initial sound of T. I know that the long A, I know the A is going to make the long A sound. So T, A. And then my ending sound of T, aim, with the E being silent. So that first word in row 1 is tame. Let's look at the next ones in row 1. So I see that all of these words have a vowel consonant E pattern. So I know that the first vowel in the word is going to have the long sound. And again, long vowels say their name. So let's try the next one. Eve, Eve. Like, Stove, stove. Use, fuse. See if you can read and recognize the vowel sound in the next rows of words. All right, let's read the next row of words. So row 2, blade, blade. Fine, fine. Slope, slope. Cube, cube. Scene. Wrote, wrote. Ease, these. Make. Side. Tune. Now that we practice reading words that have the long vowel sound when we see the vowel consonant E pattern, let's move into our next component of the word study. So our next component of word study is going to come from ELA 3.3b. Today I can use context within and beyond a sentence to determine the meaning of unfamiliar words and multiple meaning words. I'm going to model this using the following sentence. Kelly and Rachel were happy that they had a pleasant time on their vacation. So when I'm trying to determine the meaning of an unfamiliar or multiple meaning word, I want to ask myself, what clues can I find that's going to help me figure out the meaning of the word pleasant? So I'm going to look for clues in the text. So some clues from the text that I'm going to pull out is the word happy. From there, I'm determining that the meaning of pleasant is a great, amazing, fun. Because it says that they were happy and they had a pleasant time on their vacation. So that must mean that they had a great, amazing, or fun time on their vacation. So now I want to look at my answer choices. What does pleasant mean in this sentence? A, long. B, nice. C, different. C, difficult. Or D, different. So from that, I'm going to first eliminate long. They were happy, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they had a long time on their vacation. That really doesn't make sense to me in that sentence. The next one I'm going to get rid of is difficult. So it says that they were happy. So if they were happy, I'm not thinking that they had a difficult time. So I have answer choice B, nice, and D, different left. So from the clues I pulled from the text and the meaning that I created, I'm thinking that the word pleasant is going to also mean nice. I now want you to give it a try. I want you to read the following sentence. Look for clues that's going to help you figure out the meaning of the word. Determine and create your own meaning. Read the question and the answer choice, eliminating two answer choices that does not match the clues that you pulled from the text, and then choosing from the remaining two the best answer choice. All right, let's check our answer. The white pigeon pecked the ground with his beak and flew away. You should have asked yourself, what clues can you find that can help you figure out the meaning of the word pigeon? Some clues that you might have helped you would be pecked the ground with his beak, flew away. So from those clues, you can determine that the meaning of pigeon is an animal or a bird, because an animal or a bird pecks the ground with its beak, and a bird can also fly away. So what is a pigeon? A bird, B, an insect, C, an airplane, or D, a kite? The first one you could have eliminated would have been B, an insect. An insect doesn't necessarily have a beak. An insect can fly, but an insect doesn't have a beak. So I'm going to get rid of B. And then D, a kite. A kite doesn't have a beak. A kite does fly, but it doesn't have a beak either. And so I have a bird, and C, an airplane. And the most obvious choice would, of course, be a bird, because a bird is the only one of these answer choices that has a beak. Let's move into our reading lesson. Our reading objective for today's comes from ELA 3.10D. Today I can analyze text for author's craft and purpose through figurative language. Today we'll be reading the story Judy Moody Mood Martian, and this is an example of a realistic fiction story. So a realistic fiction story is a story that seems like real life. We have characters that think, behave, and act like real people, and we may see a setting that is similar to real life, or it could be a real place in real life. Who's who? Not so moody, Judy. Stink, Mom, Dad, Rocky, Frank, Jessica, Amy. In a mood. She, Judy Moody, was in a mood. A sourball mood. A mad face mood. All because school's pictures had come home that day. If Stink had came into her room, he would ask to see her school pictures. And if he asked to see her school picture, he would see that she had been wearing her I Am a Girl, Hear Me Roar t-shirt, the same one she wore today. And if he saw her wearing her Roar t-shirt in her school picture, he would also see that she looked like a Sasquatch, with bird's nest hair in her face and in her eyes. Mom and Dad were going to freak. Just once, we'd like to have a nice school picture of our girl, Dad has just said this morning. Maybe this will be the year, Mom had said. But third grade was no different. Judy spread out her pictures on the floor. She looked like a clown, kindergarten, a one-eyed pirate, second grade, Sasquatch, third grade. If only Mom and Dad would forget about school pictures this year. Fat chance. Maybe Judy could pretend the dog ate them. Too bad the Moody's didn't have a dog, only Mouse the cat. She could say that an evil school picture bandit erased them from the master computer. Hardly. To make things worse, Rocky had grabbed her Sasquatch picture in class and wouldn't give it back. Then he passed it to Frank, which made Judy yelp and jump out of her seat instead of doing her math. That's when Mr. Todd said the A word. Antarctica. The desk in the back of the room where Judy had to go chill out. For the third time that day. Never in the history of Judy had she been to Antarctica that many times in a row. A donut-sized sticky spot sat in her stomach, just remembering it. That's why she, Judy Moody, was in a mood. A finger knitting, don't think about school pictures, need to be alone mood. As in by herself. As in no stinky little brother to bug her and bother her like a pesky mosquito. Buzz. Stink was always in her ear. Why is taking a good school picture important to Judy? I want you to answer that using the following sentence stem. Taking a good school picture is important to Judy because Judy's number one favorite place to curl up with Mouse was on top of her bunk, but Stink would for sure find her there. She crawled over globs of flip-flops and blobs of dirty clothes to her second favorite spot to be alone, the way back of her closet. She popped a wad of Stink's yard-long bubblegum into her mouth. Don't look at me like that, Mouse. What Stink doesn't know won't hurt him. She picked up a skein of gray-brown yarn and looped it around her thumb. Mouse batted the finger knitting chain with her paw. Over, under, over, under, back, loop, de-loop, de-loop. Judy tugged on a long chain of apple green yarn that dangled from her left hand. Her fingers flew. She, Judy Moody, was the fastest finger knitter in Frog Neck Lake, Virginia. The fastest finger knitter in the East. Probably the fastest in the whole wide world. Finger knitting was the greatest. No knitting needles needed. She looped the yarn over her fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back, over, under, through. Just like Grandma Lou had taught her during the big blackout of Hurricane Elmer. Judy's closet was like a secret little room all to herself. It even had a window, a small round window just like the kind they had on ships, sailing ships, pirate ships. The ship sailed across the blue ocean, bobbing on the waves under a sky full of marshmallow clouds. Judy and Mouse rocked back and forth as the ship's hammock swung in the breeze, until the ship hit a giant wave and, Mouse overboard! Judy tossed her chain of knitting to Mouse. She felt a tug on the line. It was... Judy uses her closet as an escape. What are all the things that Judy is trying to escape? Use the sentence stem. Judy is trying to escape blank. Stink. Judy snapped out of her daydream. Her gum went flying. You scared the bubble gum out of me. Where'd you get that gum? Asked Stink. Nowhere. It's ABC gum. She picked it up and popped it back. How'd you find me anyway? I followed the chain of yarn. The long, colorful chain of finger knitting snaked across the bottom of her closet, climbed up and over the piles of books and towers of toys, wound around Sock Mountain, and crept out the door. Well, bad idea. I'm in a mood. How was I supposed to know? Clues 1, 2, and 3, those doohickeys that hang on that doorknob? Oh, I thought you were going to say school pictures. That too. Somebody's in a mood. Bingo. Can I help it if I don't go around reading doorknobs? Judy looked around and grabbed a fuzzy pillow. See this pillow? This will be my mood pillow. It'll be our signal. If the pillow's sitting up, it means I'm in a good mood. Come on in. But if it's lying down, bad mood. Go away. Much better than a doorknob doohickey. But what if the pillow was standing up and the window was open and a hurricane came and super high wind blew down the pillow and knocked it on the side? Or what if a giant monster bigger than King Kong came and picked up the house and shook it like a toothpick and the pillow fell over? Fine. Judy plucked a marker from her pencil box. She set the pillow on her lap. On one side, she drew a happy face for good mood. On the other side, she drew a frowny face for bad mood. This will be my mood pillow. Happy face means come on in. Frowny face means go away. Judy leaned the pillow against the wall. Frowny face out. The pillow has spoken, Stink. The Jessica experiment. She, Judy Moody, had an idea. A not bad mood idea. She was going to try to stay in a good mood for one whole week. Judy asked her friends, "Hey guys, what puts you in a good mood?" "When I do a really good magic trick like the fake finger trick," said Rocky. He pulled his index finger pretending to yank it off. "If everybody claps and is amazed, it puts me in a good mood." "Uh-huh," Judy scribbled a note to herself. "I get in a good mood when I'm done with my homework," said Frank. "Uh-huh, uh-huh," Judy looked at her notes. Next it was Amy's turn. "Writing stories put me in a good mood. I dream stuff up and make it into a book and illustrate it." Judy scribbled some more. She looked at her notes. 1. Magic trick. 2. Homework. 3. Write a story. "I can do this," said Judy. "Do what?" asked Amy. "Do what?" asked Rocky and Frank. Nothing. Never mind." Judy ran home and took out her little magic trick. She tried a magic card trick on Stink, but all she did was spill the deck of cards everywhere. Homework. Judy did not see how homework would put her in a good mood. She crossed it off the list. Write story. Judy tried to write a story. The story could go on and on. What a lemon head. Writing a story was not putting her in a good mood. Who else could she get ideas from? Mom, Dad, Stink. It had to be somebody smart and somebody who never got sent to Antarctica. Judy is taking steps to better her mood. Do you think it will work? Why or why not? Use this sentence stem to help answer the question. I think Judy's plan will work because, or I think Judy's plans will not work because. Wait just a ding-dong minute. What could be more perfect than to talk to Little Miss Perfect, somebody who brushed her hair every day and followed all the rules and got good grades and had never ever been near Antarctica, somebody who had a happy magic 8 ball, Jessica A plus Finch. Of course, Judy could learn the facts about doing everything right all the time. Being perfect was sure to put her in a good mood. All she had to do was study her subject, like a science experiment. She grabbed her notebook and hopped on her bike and pedaled down the street and around the corner to Jessica Finch's house. Ding dong! Judy rang the doorbell. Jessica A. Not R. DeWolf opened the door. "Judy Moody, what are you doing here?" She could not tell Jessica tell all Finch her secret. Then the whole world would know. "I thought we could hang out," said Judy. "But you never want to hang out." "Never say never," said Judy, pushing past Jessica. "Can I come in?" "You are in," said Jessica. "Well, how about if I come up to your room?" "Sure," said Jessica. "I was just going to start measuring things for Measure Up, our new math unit." "But that doesn't start till Thursday," said Judy. "I like to get a head start," said Jessica. Judy perched on the edge of the bed next to Jessica. She bounced up and down, testing out the jump factor. "My mom doesn't like me to bounce on the bed," said Jessica. "Check," said Judy. She scribbled, "Do not bounce on bed," in her notebook. Judy stared sideways at Jessica. Her hair was brushed back into 2 very neat ponytails and she was wearing pink. Judy wrote, "Put hair in ponytails and wear pink," in her notebook. "Why are you staring at me?" asked Jessica. "It's rude." "No reason," said Judy. She looked around. The bed was made and there was 100 million fluffy pink pillows on it. Stuffed animal pigs were lined up in a row on the dresser. So was a piggy bank collection. No book or clothes were on the floor. No arts and crafts supplies were on the floor. No gum wrappers were on the floor. A pink robot poster on the wall said, "Obey." It was creepy, but Judy didn't want to say so. "Your floor is very neat," said Judy. "I can see the rug." Thanks, said Jessica. I like my room clean. It puts me in a good mood. Check. Judy wrote, clean room in her notebook. Why are you writing stuff down? Asked Jessica. No reason, said Judy, sniffing the air. I smell cupcakes. Do you smell cupcakes? From her reaction, we can tell that Jessica was not used to Judy coming over. Do you think Jessica suspected that Judy was up to something? Jessica cackled. That's my lip gloss. She flipped open a teeny tiny pink plastic cupcake. Inside was gooey stuff. Judy tried some. Yum, yum. Maybe cupcake lip gloss was another key to a good mood. Judy wrote down, wear cupcake lip gloss. You like smiley faces, huh? In Jessica's room, Judy saw a smiley face pillow, pencil holder, and paper clips. She saw smiley face sunglasses and slippers. Even a smiley face mobile hung over Jessica's desk. She picked up Jessica's smiley face magic 8-ball. Can I try? Jessica nodded. Judy had a burning question, but it was a secret. So she asked herself the question silently. Will I be able to stay in a good mood for one whole week? She shook the happy 8-ball. Nice outfit. She asked the question and shook it again. Your breath is so minty. She tried again. You smell great. It keeps telling me that I smell great, said Judy. It's the lip gloss, Jessica nodded knowingly. Want to do some homework now? Judy wrote, do homework one time in her notebook. She also got out her positively pink see-through ruler. She got out her positively pink tape measure. She even had a positively pink yardstick. Wow, you have a yardstick? I have a yardstick of bubble gum. It's this long. She stretched out her arms. Well, it used to be. There's actually 1 or 2 3/4 inch of gum left. But the box is a yard long ruler. For real. And it has jokes. And I wouldn't use it for homework if I were you, said Jessica. Judy looked around for something to measure. Do you have a cat? We could measure stuff like the cat's tail, said Judy. Jessica crinkled her forehead. I was just going to measure the carpet. She started to stretch the measure tape across the rug. Boring. This being in a good mood was harder than it looked. Judy's fingers itched. If only she were back in her closet with her finger knitting. She stared at Jessica some more. Do you ever miss the bus to school? Judy asked. Jessica wrinkled her forehead again. Why would I do that? I mean, are you ever late to school? Say you slept late, or read your book under the covers when you should have been getting ready, or didn't do your spelling homework and decided to stay home sick. I always do my spelling homework. I never fake sick, and I have a walkie-clocky, said Jessica. She pulled an alarm clock with wheels from her nightstand. It beeps like a robot and jumps off the nightstand when it's time to get up. I have to get out of bed and chase it around. Can I try? Asked Judy. Sure, Jessica. Set the clock off to go off in 1 minute. They waited. They waited some more. Beep, beep. Walkie-talkie leaked on the floor. Out of bed, sleepyhead. It zoomed across the carpet. Up and at 'em, madam. It zoomed underneath the bed. Rise and shine, friend of mine. Judy chased it all around Jessica's room. Wow, said Judy. It walks, it talks, it rhymes, it chimes. She wrote down, get walkie-clocky so I'm never late in her notebook. That was fun. Let's do it again. This time, it's not really a game, said Jessica. She put the clock back on her nightstand. Come on, let's do our homework. Julie looked at her to-do list. She had lots to do if she was going to stay out of Antarctica. She had to learn about being in a good mood. I can't, said Judy. I have to go finish my science experiment. Science experiment? Jessica sat up straight. Her eyes got wide. What science experiment? We don't have any. But Judy was already down the steps and halfway out the front door. Yippee skippy. Today we're going to be using our story Judy Moody Mood Martian to look at figurative language. Figurative language is what the authors use to create a special effect or feeling or to make a point. This includes figurative speech that compare, exaggerate it, or mean something different than what is expected. So some examples, we have a simile. Similes compare two things using the words like or as. I'm happy as a clam. Metaphor. Metaphor is a comparison of two things by saying one thing is another. You must be a walking encyclopedia to know all these facts. Personification. Personification gives human qualities or characteristics to an animal or object. The moon follows me when I walk home at night. Alliteration. Alliteration is a sound device used to repeat the same consonant sound at the beginning of nearby words. Sally sent Susie some samples of soup. Assonance. Assonance is a sound device used to repeat the same vowel sounds in nearby words. The cat ran past the man. And then sensory language, which is words that appeal to the five senses. The summer breeze smelled like fresh cut grass. We're going to be using this graphic organizer to look at examples from the text and determine what the author was meaning when he said those things. So we're going to be looking at a simile, which is a comparison using the words like or as, an onomatopoeia, creating a word that imitates, resembles, or suggests the sound it describes, and repetition, when words or phrases are repeated in a literary word. Simile. Judy's closet was like a secret room all to herself. So in this, the author is comparing Judy's closet to a secret little room all to herself, using the word like. So from that, I'm determining that the author is trying to say that Judy's closet was her safe place. I want you to look at the next two examples from the text, and I want you to determine what was the author trying to say, or what did the author mean when he used these figurative language components in the story. Looking at the onomatopoeia. Beep, beep. Walkie Clocky leaped to the floor. Out of bed, sleepyhead. It zoomed across the carpet. Up and down, madam. It zoomed underneath the bed. Rise and shine, friend of mine. Judy chased it all around Jessica's room. So in here, the author created an onomatopoeia, which is imitating the sound that the walkie clocky makes. So from that, we can say that the author was trying to tell us what the alarm sounds like and remind us of what it feels like to hear an alarm clock in the morning. And then we had a repetition of Jessica cackled. That's my lip gloss. She flipped open a teeny tiny pink plastic cupcake. Inside was gooey lip stuff. Judy tried some. Yum, yum. Maybe cupcake lip gloss was another key to a good mood. So in here, the author repeated the phrase yum, yum. So when he did that, he was trying to show us that Judy liked the lip gloss. She thought that it tasted good. So as you're reading a fictional story, I want you to try to recognize if you see any figurative language in the story. Figurative language, again, is used to create a special effect or feeling or to make a point. So the authors are going to compare, exaggerate, or mean something different than what is really expected. Thank you for joining my lesson today. Remember, long vowels say their name. So when we see the pattern vowel consonant E, the vowel is going to have the long vowel sound. When we are reading, we come across an unfamiliar word, we should use context clues to help us determine the meaning of that word. And authors often use figurative language to create a special feeling or effects in the story. We must figure out and understand the point that the author is trying to make, or what emphasis the author is trying to make when he makes the statement. Again, thank you for joining my lesson. Remember, stay safe and make safe choices.